All right, we're live. Welcome. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Black Friday. Hope everyone had a good time. Without further ado, we're going to get into it. I went and got some of the new Bourbon County stouts um, that just came out. They come out every year, Black Friday. Bourbon County brand stout from Goose Island. They're usually great. They're readily available, mostly across the U.S. Some of the more rare variants are only available in Chicago area, or are at least much more readily available in the Chicago area. Um, and without further ado, we're just going to jump right in. I know really nothing about this year's lineup. I wasn't overly enthusiastic when I initially read them. And then I didn't even run out this morning or even today to get these. I picked them up about an hour ago at my local liquor store, and they had cases of everything still sitting there. So we're going to start with Goose Island Bourbon County cask finish 2-year stout, Angel's Envy. It's got this nice, lovely looking box. Hopefully everyone can hear me, by the way. So I'll read it to you here. This year, we are thrilled to introduce the newest addition to the Bourbon County family with our first ever cask finish stout. Inspired by the innovation of our friends at Angel's Envy, we embarked on a journey to craft a truly exceptional stout. This stout was carefully aged in freshly emptied barrels that once held Angel's Envy Kentucky straight bourbon, allowing the unique layers of flavor to intertwine with our stout. But we didn't stop there. We then transferred the beer to second use ruby port wine barrels, where it patiently matured for another year. This secondary finishing process refined and amplified the flavors of cherry, spice, and cocoa with our aged stout. Bourbon County brand 2-year cask finish stout is a testament to our legacy as the originators of bourbon barrel-aged stout. Join us in savoring this remarkable beer, celebrating tradition, innovation, and true craftsmanship. And then here's a little bit about Angel's Envy. Situated on Whiskey Row in downtown Louisville, Kentucky, Angel's Envy stands as a testament to the rich bourbon heritage that thrives within their storied location. With a modern take on classic bourbon, yet a deep reverence to tradition, they boldly look toward the future of whiskey with a commitment to innovation. As is the case with all bourbon, it begins with expertly crafted whiskey aged in charred new oak barrels. As pioneers in the art of finished whiskey, Angel's Envy takes it a step further and places that whiskey into a secondary port wine finishing cask. It's this unique process and additional step in their craft that further develops the complexity while still maintaining a nuanced and beautiful expression. With exacting standards and a legacy of quality, Angel's Envy is leading the next chapter of bourbon. Develops in the bottle up to 5 years. I've never let any of mine age that long. I've bought some of the standard ones when they're roughly 3, 4, 5 years old. But for any of these special variants, I usually drink them as I get them, or maybe drink them within a year or two afterwards. So the unboxing, it's a beautiful box. It's kind of hard to see it, but it's got this kind of like shiny stuff. You can kind of see it there as the light hits it. But it's pretty cool. So let's see if it says anything special on here. Nope. All right, let's crack this motherfucker open. And here we go. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Actually got a fair amount of carbonization. It smells nice. Definitely cherry chocolate. Yeah, like a dark chocolate, not so much milk chocolate. cherry, and then just kind of your normal Bourbon County stout, like the base stout. If you ever had it before, it just kind of has like a distinct smell. But it smells quite nice. All right. Cheers. It's pretty good. It was kind of like an unexpected, but then obviously expected, like that very chocolatey, but not quite chocolate port. If you ever had port, you can 100% taste it. First sip, well worth it. I mean, I think this was like $30, $40 maybe. I don't know for sure. The mouthfeel is great. Finish is kind of quick. Obviously, we're not tasting a whiskey, so it's not quite the same, but when it is barrel aged, you do expect to get some of that barrel tannin, barrel influence. Not a lot on this, but then again, Angel's Envy is a pretty tame whiskey as is. And I think it even said, and I'm almost positive it's finished as port anyway. Just a standard offering is finished in port. I am indeed drinking out of the side of my mouth, for any of you wondering. Yeah. I mean, very cherry, very chocolate. Not sweet chocolate, though. Like I said, more of like a dark chocolate. Like I said, the mouth feels great. Definitely get that. If you like port and if you like Angel's Envy, you'll like this, especially if you like Goose Island Stouts. If you don't like, so this is a big disclaimer that I thought everyone would know. But last year, and being in different bourbon communities, people that may like whiskey or a certain brand of whiskey, Angel's Envy, Weller, Blanton's, Eagle Rare, etc. But most notably last year with Old Fitzgerald, it's a barrel-aged barley wine finished in Old Fitzgerald casks, and a bunch of people that don't like barley wines bought it for whatever reason, then said it tasted like shit. Well, it's a barrel-aged barley wine. If you don't like barley wine, chances are you're not going to like it just because it's finished in a cask of whiskey that you like. So that being said, if you don't like barrel-aged stouts, but you do like Angel's Envy, you're probably not going to like this just because it's finished in Angel's Envy. So just throwing that out there. I know it seems like a pretty obvious thing, but apparently it's not that obvious to everyone. So anyway, cheers. Yeah, it's definitely good. Is it worth the dollar amount? Sure. I would say for one, maybe two as a backup, so you can see what it tastes like later down the line if it becomes more apparent on certain things or a little more muted on other things. This is like room. This is slightly chilled too. Barrel-aged stouts, in my opinion, or most people's opinion, should be enjoyed slightly chilled to room temp, somewhere around there. But if they're ice cold, you're going to usually lose a lot of the flavor that's intended. This one, like I said, I just picked them up an hour ago. I threw it in the freezer for the last 30, 40 minutes. So it's chilled, but by no means is it cold. But I enjoy it. I would say if I'm giving a score 0 to 10, with a decimal, I'd say it's like a 8.1, off the top without thinking about it too hard. Yeah, I'd say about an 8.1. It's missing some of the barrel I like on a barrel-aged beer. But then again, like I said, Angel's Envy is just not very overpowering whiskey. It's pretty approachable for non-whiskey drinkers. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching, at least one person was apparently watching. And once again, this is for 2023 Goose Island Bourbon County Stout with the Angel's Envy finish. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend.